Alright, what's up? I hope everybody's good that is watching that little video. If somebody's even watching it, I'm not sure if I will ever publish that, but I just want to talk about a quick concept that I found out about around 5, 6 maybe months ago, but 3 months ago I really stick to it, and it changed the way I'm thinking and the way you are productive. Let's start with the concept. The concept is signal versus noise, and it's a concept from Kevin O'Leary actually, that like I got it from him and he got it from Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. Because normally it's like that: you start the day, you wake up maybe early in the morning, hopefully you do, and you want to do 10 or 20 things at that day, right? So everything is like you have 100 things you want to do. Maybe you even write a to-do list. I highly recommend this as well. That's what I'm doing as well. I write me a to-do list, but I have like 10 things I want to get done, right? But the signal versus noise concept is that you have signal and everything else is noise, right? What is signal? Signal are the most important 3 things you need to get done today. You know, Kevin O'Leary said 3 to 5 things, but I actually like only 3 things, because otherwise you have way less focus. Get a piece of paper and put your 10 things you want to accomplish today. And often when you have a pen and paper and write them down, you realize that like 5 of them doesn't really matter, you know, but 2 or 3 or even 4 are super important, you know, and they stick around forever. You know, maybe you have them on the to-do list for like, I don't know, 4 weeks. So then, you know, these are the really important ones. Only your 3 most important things you need to get accomplished today, right? And everything else that you have on the other side of the list is complete noise. I like to structure it when I have 3 things I put down as, you know, signal, right, for the day, and I need to get these 3 things done. I also look at these 3 things and see which one is the most important one, because then normally it is one that is way more important. There's not things that are equal. There's always one that is more important than the other one, right? Pick that one that is the most important thing, and that's the one you need to get done. You need to do everything until you need to get that done, and then you can look at point 2. But before that, don't look at point 2, don't look at point 3, and especially don't look at point 7, 8, 9, or 10, because otherwise you find yourself working for 6 hours, but you're bouncing around 10 different things and not really accomplished one of them. You just touch 10 different topics, but doesn't really get much work done, right? That's the signal versus noise concept basically. And I even realized, you know, you need to focus on one thing. Maybe it's a big thing, for example, editing a YouTube video. I did that the last days and it took me a long time. It took me more than 1 day, right? But maybe your signal is editing the YouTube video 4 hours. That's one of the tasks, one of the 3 tasks you need to get accomplished, right? And then you put down a time mark, right? Editing 4 hours the YouTube video, for example. And then once you have that, you check on it and you look at point 2, right? But keep in mind, because some things take longer than, basically take longer than 1 day or 2 days. They even take a week or even longer, right? So then get a time block, you know, editing YouTube video for 4 hours, or like writing a new offer that also can take maybe 3 hours, but maybe takes 10 because it's a crazy grand slam offer. I'm just reading the book $100 Million Offers from Alex Hormozi, and you know, probably when I write my offer it will take me more than 4 hours, so probably I will stretch it over like 2-3 days. That's why I say building an offer for like 4 hours, right? And then check that and then go on to point number 2. And then after you accomplish point number 2, you can go on point number 3. But then you do one thing, the most important thing, you finish that. Then you do the second most important thing, you finish that. And then you do the third most important thing, you finish that. And then you look at all the other things that you wrote down for the day, your 5 other things that you want to get accomplished. And then you realize some of them are bullshit. First of all, you feel amazing because you get these 3 big things, the 3 chunks of the day you got done. And with way more focus, that took you a week, you make down in 1 day, because you actually focus on only this thing, and then moved on to only this thing, and then moved on to only that thing, right? So, but then you look at your to-do list of the other 5 things you wrote down, and then you pick exactly, make the same, right? You pick the most important one of these 5 remaining to-dos, for example, and So it's basically everything else. You decide what you want to do, and everything else is complete noise. If people hit you up on WhatsApp, it's noise. If a new video gets a copyright, it's noise. If you get a partner email from a brand that want to collab with you, it's noise. You can answer it. All of that stuff you can answer later. If you, like, your good friend hit you up and want to go to the gym or play paddle, it's noise. Everything else is noise. And you need to have 80-20. Kevin O'Leary describes it as 80-20. You need to have 80% signal and 20% you can have noise. For example, going out with your friends, or even texting friends on WhatsApp, or even whatever, texting emails for brand deals or something. If that's not on your most important to-do list, it's noise, even if it's productive. And if you actually wake up every single day, I have in my calendar Signal World's noise session. Every single day at 9, I write down what my signal is, right? And you can also write down everything you want to have, and then divide by Signal World's noise. I did it now for the last 3 months, so I know what noise is, everything else. But I write down my signal, my most 3 to-do lists, and yeah, I have them right now. I don't really want to tell you them because they're like a little private. It's a complete game changer if you actually implement it in your routine and really stick to it and actually implement it in your brain, because you get so many tips in the internet and you'd be like, yeah, whatever, maybe I do that, or yeah, sounds good, but you never really do it, but even Steve Jobs used that, or Steve Jobs used it. I'm not sure if he created that, but everybody that is super successful understands the power of focus, and basically you put it into Signal with noise, which makes it super easy to think about that focus and distraction, right? And that's basically the whole concept about it. Just focus on what you need to accomplish, and everything else is a complete waste of time, because even if it's productive, it doesn't serve you well, because then you bounce to emails, and then after emails you bounce to creating a reel, and then after creating half a reel you bounce to replying to your friends or to your business person's text, whatever, but it doesn't really get much done, right? So focus your things, and actually I use that Signal with noise session every single day, and it helped me a lot, and I highly recommend to implement it as well. So I go to the gym now and use it for yourself for a week, and you will see how much more you get done. So I hope that can help.